Hello, everyone. This is Professor Jeff Wilkerson at Luther College, bringing you once more what to look for in the night sky. And this time for the week of August 30th, 2021. And we're going to, well, if you've been watching these videos, and I know you have, once you watch one, I'm sure you watch all of them. We're going to return to some of the themes. Some of our themes should become now apparent to you. We'll use the word apparent, not tiresome or monotonous or anything along those lines. How we see things, the same idea crop up again and again in a different way. And so we're looking at different part of the sky, seeing a different thing, but have an idea that's wrapped around some of the things that we've talked about before. So we're going to talk about a few different things today for you to look for in the next week or two or three or four. Really, this is a good one for the entire month of September probably, and you can watch it advance. So one of the things that's going on right now is that we've got the nights are getting longer. The darkness, the time of darkness is getting longer for us. And so that gives us a chance to see more things in the night sky. There's just more time to go outside. There's more time for the Earth to rotate new things into view. So if you go out right now, one of the things I like about this season is you go out right. Here's a thing for you. A little aside is I know that as you watch these, you think, wow, he's sitting around planning these things, and he's got an idea, and he's got a big framework of what he wants to do and wants to talk about. And instead, I usually just walk outside and hope it's clear enough, and I look around, and whatever's catching my eye in the night sky, I tend to talk about the next week. There you go. We've shattered your dreams of these. But there is a little bit. What's going to happen in the coming week? We're about to start classes again. I'm going to be teaching astronomy this fall. I'm very excited to always be teaching astronomy, general astronomy class where we cover the whole universe in 14 weeks. And it's a pretty exciting run. And it's one of my favorite things in the world to do. So what's going to happen in the next, that over the course of that 14 or 15 weeks is stuff's going to be cropping up that we're talking about in class that I get interested in. And then we talk about what we can see on the night sky that brings that to the forefront for you. But anyway, one of the things I've been noticing for a couple of weeks now when I go outside is clouds mostly, but that's a different story. We have had some clarity. We have been able to see some things. And what I like about this time of year, in the evening, I go outside and I see Sagittarius. We talked about Sagittarius last week. Go back and watch it right now if you want to. I'll wait. Okay, good. If you want to go back a couple of weeks, and a couple of weeks before that, we talked about Scorpius, and we talk about Antares a lot, the bright orange star in Scorpius. So we've looked at Scorpius and Sagittarius, these really beautiful markers of the southern sky. For those of us at mid-northern latitudes, they may be in a different location where you are, but the southern sky for me in summer. So this talks about summer. Just I go outside and the sky speaks. And we've got the summer triangle high overhead. We've got Scorpius and Sagittarius glowing on the southern southwestern horizon. And I think, wow, it's a beautiful summer sky. The Milky Way, the band of the Milky Way is glowing beautifully through there. I get up in the morning and go outside. And for me, that's often about 4:30 in the morning. It might not be quite that early for you. And you may not need to where you are. The time's going to vary a little bit depending on your time zone and such. But about 5 o'clock, you go outside right now, and it's still dark enough to see the sky. And I look to the east, and there's Orion climbing into the sky. Now, by now, I started seeing this a few weeks ago. By now, Orion's climbing pretty high into the sky, and there is no greater marker of the wintertime sky than Orion. So it tells me we're in fall. In the evening, I see the summer constellations that really scream summer to me. In the morning, I see the winter constellations that really scream winter to me. So we see Orion. So I want you to go out and look at that this next week or two or three or four, as we talked about. This is not one that's time sensitive. You can play this one out over the next few weeks. And take a look at the sky you see in the evening and how it's different in the morning and what constellations you enjoy and what they tell you about the time of year, what you think about when you see those constellations. I think something, my brain, so my environment feeds my brain and how I'm thinking and what I'm doing. And I think something very different when I see Orion than I do when I see Sagittarius or Scorpius. And so this sort of different feel. Now, one of the things that I've noted that you can work on here if you want to look at. The two brightest stars. I drew Orion in here faintly. There's the belt of Orion, shoulder and leg star. The two bright stars, the leg star Rigel and the shoulder star Betelgeuse. One of the things that I've noticed is it's just about a right triangle to go from Rigel up to Betelgeuse, over to Aldebaran, the bright star in Taurus the bull. So see if you can identify those stars that way. Rigel to Betelgeuse to Aldebaran. I think that leg of the triangle is a little bit bigger than this leg of the triangle. Okay, so you do that. But then I recognize that it's about a right triangle again. Aldebaran's part of the Hyades. I drew Orion in. I didn't want to muddle it up and draw everything in. So you've got that V of stars that's the Hyades. You've got the beautiful Pleiades star cluster glowing right up there. But you go up here, right triangle, bam, bam, bam. It's another right triangle. Go, zoot, zoot. There's your right triangles. Zoot, zoot. And then do the right triangle again. Zoot, zoot. When a right triangle, that's a 90-degree angle right there for those of you who are counting. We're going to call it 90-ish, okay? 90-ish. So you got another right triangle to Capella, the bright star in Auriga up there. And again, I think this leg, the second leg, is a little bit longer than the first leg if we're calling this the direction that we're traveling. So we go bam, 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 these right triangles. Rigel to Betelgeuse to Aldebaran to Capella, 4 of the brightest stars in the sky, beautiful winter stars rising into our fall sky in the morning. Go ahead and check it out. Now, one last thing, I want to set you up with a hard project because I know you love hard projects. That's the feedback I get all the time, man. I'm overwhelmed with feedback. And the feedback that I get all the time is we need more hard projects. So this week, the week of August 30th into the first week of September, September 1st in particular, around September 1st, the Aurigid meteor shower is going to peak. You don't hear much about the Aurigid meteor shower. Here we are. We've talked about meteor showers a lot lately. And that means that these are meteors that look like they're coming from the constellation Auriga, in which Capella resides up here. The reason you don't hear much about the Aurigid meteor shower, one, you got to be up early in the morning. You got to be up here to see the peak of it. So this week, Tuesday morning, Wednesday morning, Thursday morning, if you have a chance to get up and do your little right triangle work right here and see these stars and think about the winter stars, also look for the Aurigid meteors. But here's the thing about the Aurigid meteors. At their peak, they're going to be 5 or 6 per hour. Okay, that means you'll see one every 10 or 12 or 15 minutes maybe. And if you go out on any night and you look, and you'll see random sporadic meteors at that rate as well. So there's just random meteors from us running into stuff that's not comet debris that's left over that makes a meteor shower. So these are hard to distinguish from random meteors. So what you got to do if you want to practice it is draw yourself a sketch of the sky, maybe use these right triangles to sketch the sky, and then or take a constellation chart out. If you print go online and find a constellation chart, print it out, and then sketch your meteors. You see a meteor, sketch it on there. You see a meteor, sketch its track, draw an arrow. You see a meteor shoot across the sky, sketch its track, draw an arrow. You see a meteor shoot across the sky, sketch its track, draw an arrow. If those two look like they came from the same point, if you get 3 or 4 of them that look like they came from the same point, that's part of the meteor shower. If that point's in Auriga, you just saw some Aurigid meteors, and you can distinguish them from the background random sporadic meteors that you see every night out there. So that's what you got. I go find these stars. Why not use it as a chance to try a little project to see if you can identify Aurigid meteors? But you're going to have to draw some sketches to be able to do it, I think. They're pretty tough to tell from just the random meteors that are flying around out there every night. That's what we got for you this week. Meteor shower this week. You can do the rest of the star work over the coming month or so. I hope you have good observing. I think we've run a little bit long. We got excited and talked about a lot of stuff. Have a good week out there. Enjoy the observing, and we'll have something new for you next week. Thanks, everybody.